Welcome back. This second topic that we're going to talk about is recruiting. It's recruiting for you personally, and then how can you help your team recruit? As leaders, we have to set the standards. We are mentors, we are role models, and our team will follow us if you like it or not, if you tell them to or not. That's what they learn from you. Now eventually some of our downline branch off and learn from other places, but you are their first initial learning lesson. And so how you run your business is imperative. How you run your classes. If you're just charging a flat fee for your class, and so is your downline, and then no sales are generated or very little sales are generated, and you as a team leader, you don't get paid very much when that happens. You don't get anything at all. That also comes true with recruiting. By the way, if you run classes that are order-based, so people pay with their class by putting in an order, or if it's product-based, so you're putting in an order for them, guess what? You do get paid a commission. And then when your team copies you, they will get sales, and you will get paid a commission off of that as well. So everybody is happy, especially the customer, because she's getting product for her cards instead of just a flat fee. Okay, now back to recruiting. So that stems from you as well. You have to represent the behavior of sharing the starter kit, of welcoming guests into your team meeting. The last session we talked about team meetings, and one of the number one ways for you to grow yourself personally with new recruits and also for your team to grow with new recruits is to have an open door policy. Not only do I have an open door policy and recommend that, but I bribe my team members to bring guests with them. So do an incentive every month for whoever brings a new person, them and the new person either get to get in for a raffle if your team is larger. If it's only going to be just one or two people, then I used to hand make a gift for every single person, or give them something if they brought a guest that day. So that all starts with you. You should be having a new person at your monthly meeting every single month that you've personally invited. It could be a customer, it could be a hostess, it could be a friend, it could be a potential customer, anybody that you want to check out what you do. And of course, by being there and having fun and seeing that this is just, we're not all crazy ladies. We are, she's going to see herself that she fits right in like a glove and that this is where she wants to be herself every single month. So you have to do that as well. So as you're recruiting, you're going to teach your team how to recruit too, how to share the starter kit, how to offer it as an actual real product choice that they can choose. That's the best deal for them to join the company and be a happy shopper, be a preferred customer, that you get to get preferred customer pricing. That is eligible for every single person out there to join the company like that. Your recruiting is also pivotal towards your growth. One thing that I see with leaders as well, some smaller leaders, is that they're in this constant catch-22. They're always, maybe recruiting 3 people and then dropping 3 people, then recruiting 2 people, then dropping 2 people, and their numbers are never growing above 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that's because they don't have a consistent flow of new recruits. They're only recruiting during when Stampin' Up! Does a special. They're not recruiting all year long. If you want your team to grow, you set that pace. You set that speed by continually to add to your team all the time. Your goal may be to become a silver elite someday, so you're shooting for those 5 or 6 recruits. But then what happens is you get there, then you just stop recruiting. You stop focusing on it. And realizing that, every quarter we have a pending month. Every quarter you have the potential to lose one of your demonstrators in your team. So you have to continue to keep recruiting, not just because of a number, not just because of a title, but because it's what you do in your business model. You regularly share the starter kit. You can pull in 1 to 2 recruits every single month just by sharing the beauty of the starter kit. Then on months when Stampin' Up! Does have a promotion, they do have a special, which is only maybe once or twice a year now, then you may have some bigger, higher numbers. but you're sharing the opportunity all year long. Your team is growing every single month instead of decreasing. So that's what we want to see in you. Now, once you do that, once you have and understand that concept, then we can help our team recruit. It's really hard to encourage and teach our team to grow and recruit and become leaders when you yourself are not recruiting, when you yourself are only having maybe 1 or 2 or 3 recruits a year. It's just very difficult to get up there and teach and train and motivate and inspire when you're not living what it is that you want them to do. So that's why I started with that first. We're actually, at the live event, going to do a breakout session right now where we are going to work together on how we got our last recruits, what are some of our best recruiting tips, what are some ways that we can continue to share the starter kit. So I'll give you one of my biggest tips, and then we'll go on to the next session. My biggest tip for recruiting during celebration is I create a celebration flyer, and it has 3 different kit choices that they can choose. There's option A, B, or C. I label mine gold, silver, and then bronze. And the gold one is the biggest, best value, and it is the starter kit. And they get the value of it is huge because they're going to get $26 for free just by buying the kit. Then they get the 2 free stamp sets, and there's no shipping. So the cost is only $104.94 here in Michigan. You're going to do your own math wherever you live in the world or the country, because everyone has different sales tax. So, and their value of it's like over $200. Then option B is a $100 order, and they get 2 free celebration choices. But the cost of that is actually $116, so it's more expensive because they have to pay for shipping. And their 2 free stamp sets they get are celebration sets, which is great, but their value is not near what they can choose when they choose 2 free stamp sets out of the book. So the value on that's about $140, $145. So if they're comparing the two, do I put a $100 order in, or do I get option A where I get all of that? It puts it in black and white. And then kit and package C is a $50 order, and they get 1 free celebration choice. So I pass that out to every single person that is coming to a workshop or a class or a club. You can put that in the mail to some of your customers that are putting online orders in. You want them to see in black and white the benefit of buying the starter kit. I explained to them that anybody can join. Yes, you'll have to sign a form and give your social security number, but that's only because someday you might make a lot of money with this. You don't want to today, but you never know. I also said I was never going to do anything and just buy the starter kit. I said those exact words 15 years ago. So Stampin' Up! Has to collect that. That's just the federal law. But it doesn't matter. They're not going to give you anything if you don't make any money. So I encourage them to purchase that as a preferred customer, as a happy shopper, use your discount. Because in the beginning, I just want to get them to come into our group, come into our team, come into the Stampin' Up! Family. And then once they're there, then we can influence them to want to possibly do more with their hobby. So that's my best recruiting tip. And then that's where we would break out into a group and everybody would share their best recruiting tips, because we have to set the standard of recruiting. So as an example, for celebration, I have a goal to have 10 recruits during celebration. And that's a lot for a lot of you, but that's not unheard of. That's not impossible if you're sharing it, if you have customers, if you want your team to continue to keep growing. So that's my first training session that we're going to do. Now the second one we're going to do is how can we help our team recruit. So the first thing is I'll refer back to what we just did, that we have to set the example. We have to be the mentor. We have to encourage our team to bring their friends and customers and stampers to the team meetings so that all of us together create a lot of power and we can help influence them to join. I can tell you hands down that whenever one of my team members brings somebody to the meeting, maybe just to check it out or just to hear about it, they almost always join. I'm going to say 90 to 95% of my entire 15 years has that happened. Because I can, as a leader, can help her. I can make subtle hints about joining in the starter kit, and I always have people give a testimony who maybe just bought the starter kit and how exciting it was. And I have hobbyists talk about why they love what they do and how they love being a hobbyist and getting the discount. So that influences everybody in the room. So that is tip number 2, is you've got to encourage your team members to bring their friends. So when I say encourage, I mean bribe. I mean give an incentive, give a challenge. So challenge them to bring a friend to the meeting, and then they're going to get their name into a drawing. I do a big monthly drawing every month, and one of the ways that they can get entries is to bringing a guest with them. I also give everybody a raffle ticket who is a guest or who brings a guest. And then I give away something like a clear mount stamp set or a bolt of ribbon or something, depending on how many people are there. So you have to bribe them with an incentive, and it works. So the next thing that we do is we actually talk about the starter kit. I just gave you a tons of tips, a lot of little golden nuggets in there that I don't know if you pulled out. But at the monthly meeting, I have a hobbyist do a testimony. I have other demonstrators do testimonies about what it's like to be a part of the company, and that people think that they have to recruit people who only want to build a big business, or people who have a lot of money, or people who need a lot of money. There's so many of these prejudgmental things that we assume about people, instead of realizing that we just need to share it with everyone. So those are little things that help your team see that, and then they also will start sharing it with everybody. The third thing that I do is that I recognize promotions really, I think, grand in our team. When someone promotes, we post their name on the Facebook. At the meeting, we have them come up front. I give them a team necklace when they promote to Bronze Elite, and then every promotion above that, we add a charm to the necklace. We have them talk about what their team name is and what their goals are and how they promoted. So they get to give their testimony about how they did it. Because when I talk, people are just used to like blah, 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 Ronda's talking. But when someone else, because they hear me all the time, but when someone else shares their story, it's so much more motivating because they can see themselves in that person that just promoted. And human nature makes it so they want that recognition. They want the pat on the back. They want the necklace. They want their name in print. They may say they don't, but human nature wants those things. And so that's another way for them to encourage the team to recruit, because they're going to need to recruit, most likely, to be able to promote. Okay, the fourth thing is to actually train on it, talk about it. So about every few months, I train on the starter kit. We train what a good deal it is, how you present it, how you package it. Carry a basket around with $126 in product and tell them that this is, tonight you can get this for $99 and free shipping. Anybody can get it. You have to show them and teach it and talk about it. So every 3 months, you should be teaching and training on recruiting. And so then that way, that inspires your team to want to go and share that. So training always comes first. The next step after training is actually an incentive, is challenging, is dangling the carrot. And yes, Stampin' Up! Right now has a huge carrot, so huge. So I am teaching and showing that. Like Stampin' Up! Is going to give you 15,000 flex points, people, if you get 2 or more recruits. Like literally, that is like $140 in product. Plus you get to get a $25 item for your first one. So there's nothing that I could ever give you that could ever be more than that. Stampin' Up! Is being so generous right now, and all of you, everyone in this room, everyone on this video can get 2 recruits. You just have to offer and talk about it. Not much is different between you and I when we talk about the starter kit, except for the fact that I have a lot of confidence in it. I have a lot of belief in it. And maybe you are scared to be pushy. You're scared to come across as, I don't know, being pushy. It's not. It's a great deal. We're being generous when we're sharing the starter kit to people. We're being thoughtful and thinking of them. Some of you, that's the issue. You think about yourself and what's best for me, and you want just all the sales for yourself. And what happens in the long run is that customer's eventually going to probably sign up with somebody else, or she'll probably just stop ordering and she'll move on to quilting or something. So you're going to lose her anyway. So you might as well filter her into your team where they stay around a whole lot longer, because the team actually becomes a part of their life, maybe even a part of their, like a family to them. So not recruiting and not offering the kit because you're scared to lose your sales is one sure way that you're going to probably lose them altogether eventually. Everyone has a shelf life, so it's better to get them to be a customer, come, and then join your team, and then they can bring their friends, and it's just a big happy growing cycle. So so that's the incentive right now. Now I usually offer my own incentive on top of that, and it won't be product because they've started giving them so much. So in turn, I'll tell you what I did last quarter for recruiting. Is everybody who had 2 or more recruits during the quarter got to come to a bingo night. It's just like the bingo nights I do with my customers, but instead it was free. And they got actually 5 make and takes versus 3, but we gave away prizes. We had dessert for them to eat. We actually did, I think we did a dish to pass, so we had food there. And we had lots of fun, and we gave away a lot of prizes, and they had the free make it takes, and everybody got a little gift, like a little swag bag or goodie bag when they came. And that was my thank you to them. And that was my way of encouraging them. And the only way they could get there is by promoting or having 2 or more recruits in the quarter. So I'll do those things about once or twice a year to have a big event where they get to come if they have 2 or more recruits. Every once in a while, I'll do one for a month. If you have 1 recruit this month, you and your new recruit get to come to a free stamp camp. So time with you is precious. And for me, the benefit is I get to spend more time with them and stamp with them. And they get to, they'll become inspired just by attending that recognition event as well. So that's just another suggestion. I've done, when Stampin' Up! Doesn't have an incentive, I've done recruiting blitzes. And so everyone who gets a recruit or shares a starter kit gets to get the name in a drawing, and we'll do it for like 2 weeks, or we'll do it for a month, and then I'll give away some prizes from the recruiting blitz. So we do a lot of incentives based on recruiting, probably almost at least once or twice a quarter, not just a year, but a quarter, we do something based on recruiting. I recognize my team when they have recruits. If they have a recruit, we announce their name at the meeting. If they have 2 or more recruits, you can give a charm or something. It's all based, you get what you ask for. You get what you expect and what you devote time to. So in your team, if you want your team to recruit, then you need to devote time to that. You need to devote training, and you need to devote your recognition, your incentives, and actually invest in this area with incentives. So I do invest some of my personal income into the incentives to encourage my team to grow. Now, of course, when they promote, I earn bonuses. When they recruit and their team grows, more people sell, my income goes up, my commission goes up. So that investment, I believe, is a very wise one that will absolutely come back to me. So those are some tips that I have on encouraging your team to promote. And there's always about 5 really, really good, effective ones in there that when you put all 5 together, it absolutely is going to work. So at this time as well, I would have we're going to break up into sessions where leaders can share what they do to encourage their team to recruit as well. The last thing I want to say is to really encourage my team to grow and to recruit. It boils down to one-on-one work. It boils down to having phone calls with them, letting them know, do you know that you're only 1 recruit away from promoting to silver? And if you get that 1 recruit, you're going to get this, she's going to get that, and then you're going to earn my incentive to come to here. So that communication is huge. It's priceless. They will see your emails and probably delete it and not read it. They might not attend the monthly meeting. They probably have no clue what their 12-month rolling sales are. So that communication that you give them is priceless. So pick up the phone and call them. Talk to them at the meeting. Send them a Facebook message and say, hey, I was looking over my report. I actually wish I probably could show you on here. a list of about 25 people in my team that are either less than $300 away from promoting or one recruit. So all of them I will be personally contacting in the next couple of days or next week. And I do that at least every other month or every month. Probably every month I go through and try to pull those numbers so that I can work with the individual people, because they don't know. They don't watch the numbers like we do or like we should. So if you haven't done that, you need to go through your report and see who's close to promoting. See who has over $3,600 in 12-month rolling sales, because they only need one recruit, and then they can promote to silver. They get to get the necklace, they get to get the flex points, they get to get whatever you're giving for promotions, if there's an incentive that you're offering. So hopefully you can see how all of these things tie in together, and it's a beautiful working system. You're bringing people in, your team is growing and bringing people in, but it only happens if you spend some time on it and give it some focus. All right, good luck. I hope you got some good information here from these last 2 training sessions on ways that you can really support your team and effectively grow your team through team meetings and through you mentoring them and being their role model, and then also encouraging them to grow themselves. Thanks a lot for tuning in to our leadership. I could just have a live one next weekend, and so it's a lot of fun for me having 2 conventions back to back, and I'm so grateful. I know not everybody could fly here. You probably would have loved to. So now I get to bring it to you right to your computer screen. Thanks a lot and good luck.